All right, here's a few Audacity tools that you might be needing for something like this when you're recording multiple singers and putting them together. So I'm going to take, let's just say, my soprano line. That's actually MP4. My soprano MP3. So I took the audio track and just played the soprano line on top of it on the piano and put them together. So I have that imported in here now. And let's just say we'll do the altos the same way. And I'll click drag drop, and that should put it in there for you to also have. So if I go to the beginning of this, it's probably going to be lined up because I did a lot of editing already. Yeah, see, it looks pretty lined up. Let's just say, though, hypothetically, I'm going to generate some silence. This isn't something you need to do, possibly. So anyway, what I would do here is if I have these two tracks, so I want them to play together, but it obviously looks like there's a different starting point. You can use this cursor tool, highlight the blank track, and delete. And then you can zoom in, highlight the blank track, and delete, and fine tune it until you have them starting at the exact same time. And see, whoops, that gets a little too close. So right there, if I'm being really specific, I think that's pretty close to about the same exact start time. So you might need that when you go ahead and put this together. So that should put everything together. Now I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit to a place where soprano and alto are singing different things. Let's see. So yeah, the beginning of the track I had them together, but now there's been a little bit of phasing, and sometimes that does happen. So what I do is I go to, like, this phrase is not loud, it's not prominent. So what I would do is just line up the audio tracks again, and this looks to be about where the singing or playing starts, and this looks to be about where it is on the soprano side, so I just highlighted that, I delete. Then they're back together in sync. So you might have to do that a little bit, some fine tuning of what you're doing. It just depends on how specific you want to be with it, but that's how you can go ahead and take care of that. Now the other thing we talked about, the soprano line here is and then for the alto side, so those are two different things. So let's say I want the soprano right here, but I want to get rid of them there and I just want to hear altos. Obviously that'd be different for your singers instead, but it accomplishes the same thing. So the sopranos, I'm going to use this tool right here, the envelope, and I'm going to click where I want to start and end, getting rid of that. And then you take that tool and you just click in the middle in between those, and you drag toward the center, and see if I drag left or right. It depends on if you want it kind of to fade in and fade out a little bit. You have that, which is fine probably, or you could have it just a hard stop, and then you do that and click another one right here, and then you have a very solid defined entry and exit. So the sopranos are there. And then I would do the same thing here for the altos, saying I want to not have the alto line right here. I'm going to create those same parameters, which I did, and then drag toward the center of the audio track, that channel, I guess. And then again doing the same thing. So now effectively if I play this with both of them still there, which they are, I can do this and it keeps what you did. You'll hear soprano and then alto, and then when it goes after that section, it'll have both of them again. So let's confirm that that's the case. Soprano. And that was alto. So that's how you do that. Now, the one last thing that I said is you get your audio file of just the track, and you put that in at the end, you're going to have a much better balance between everything. And honestly, you know what I would probably do is I would balance all of my voices and do exactly what I wanted with that. I would export that audio, and then I would mix, let's say that, so you have all your voices here. I would export that audio, and let's just play pretend for a second. Let's pretend that the tenor line is your exported audio. Okay, so your soprano and alto together, everything that we just did, I exported it and saved it as this file. You do that. So in what you're doing, that's going to be all of the voices together. And then just to balance everything, I would take this track, which is the straight accompaniment track only. I would put that back in and then balance between the two. Obviously, you still have to make sure they start at the same time and do all that stuff. But then that way you have a good balance of your voices and then the track to go with each other. And then when you're done with that, you export and you should be set. So if you have any other questions, just let me know. But I think that covered all of what we talked about and then some. All right, enjoy.